I'm old Big Mek. This is the Red Ones Go Faster, and you gets better listen up, cause I'm fixing to learn you why Orks is the best army for Warhammer 40k, and how you can turn not very many teeth into a proper WAH! That's right. Welcome back to the Red Ones Go Faster. I am indeed old Big Mek, and this video is our most hotly anticipated video release so far. Little backstory is, a while ago we did a video on why Orks are the best and how you could make an army. It was like 1,000 points for under 300 bucks, and then like how to expand from there. Our most popular video ever. It's brought most of you gets here to the WAH, but you know, things have changed. That was 9th edition. This is now 10th edition, and some of our recommendations, frankly, don't hold up anymore because you can't find like the start collecting box anymore. So it's time for an update. And what I've been doing is kind of poring over things for the last couple of weeks, trying to figure out the best way to make an army. Because it's easy to make a cheap army, right? You say you buy 2 combat patrols or an old Christmas box that's discontinued or whatever. But that's not useful, right? Like a Kildaka warband, it's 2 years old. Like, you're not going to find that. It's just like the start collecting box. You're not going to find that. You know, even the boarding patrols, right? Those were sold out everywhere, and they didn't make any more of them. So making a recommendation video on like how to do a whole army and then not have boxes that you can actually buy is kind of disingenuous. So I really wanted to make a video that was going to stand the test of time as far as like 10th edition goes, but also right now we're in index, right? So what that means for those of you kind of newer to the game is when 10th edition dropped, all the codexes died. They don't work anymore, and we all have an index. The index has its ups and downs. The hard part for army building is there's no individual war gear anymore. So our old video where we're kit bashing and making ludas and burnas and tank bustas, like the tank busta squad's completely screwed now, right? It's only the one build that the old metal miniatures came in, and that's it. You can't just take, you know, rocket launchers anymore. You got to have the little rocket pistol and the tank hammer, and it makes it hard to kit bash things like that, and it makes it hard to figure out your points because like there's nowhere where you can save some points. There's nowhere where you could bulk some points out. Like you just have the unit, right? So I wanted to make something that was going to be good for the index, but also knowing that our codex is going to be coming relatively quickly in the scheme of things, an army that when the codex drops, you're not going to immediately be like, oh crap, this army sucks because all the cool stuff in the codex I don't have, or now like my points are way too much or way too few. So this is how to do your orc army with all brand new kits, right? Brand new stuff that you can buy today. And then I've got 1,000 point build, and then where to take it from there to go to 2,000 points with a couple options. So strap in. All right. Obviously, you know, first we're going to do the combat patrol. It's the easy button for every army. And the fact of the matter is now that the combat patrol is an actual playable part of 40K, this is everybody's first army, right? You buy this, you build it, you paint it. You can now play combat patrol games, and then you build your army from there. What this box gives you is a war boss in mega armor. That's this guy right here, who is super awesome kit. Probably one of my favorite orc kits of all time. 10 of the new boys times 2 different squads of them. 3 Def Coptas and the Def Dread. So you get 1 HQ, 2 battle line, troop guys, 3 fast attack, 2 heavy support. Not that fast attack, heavy support mean anything anymore. I don't know why I keep going on about that. Probably because we've had force organization charts since 3rd edition, and now suddenly it's just battle line or not. So anyways, you get 2 battle line, 2 not battle line, and 1 character, okay? This retails for 160 bucks. I have links down in the description below. They are affiliate links to Amazon. They don't cost you any more, but they do give a little kickback to old Big Mek here to help the channel grow. But as of the time of the recording, Amazon has this particular box for $127. So you can save yourself 32 teeth on that particular box, and that's the start of your army. Next are a couple of these, 2 Gretchen squads. Now, follow me along here. First of all, Gretchen is great to add to an orc army right now because they're our only squad where we can farm CP points. So those command points, things that you need to do the stratagems and stuff. We don't have any way of getting that other than having Gretchen right now, right? So Grots are always going to be a good pickup for that. The other thing is, how you're going to do this is one squad is going to be Grots with the Weird Boy. The other squad, you're going to build the Grots, put them into the squad, and, well, they're, you're going to take your runt herd here, and you're going to turn him into a Weird Boy. And you don't even really have to convert him, because he's already a orc on the right size base with a stick, which is what a Weird Boy is. Right, so there's your first conversion. You now have another battle line and a grot or character. From there, yeah, this is where it gets fun. You're gonna buy the Mek gun. Now the Mek gun kit is fantastic because it includes all the parts you need for 3 Mek guns, except for like the wheels and stuff. But if you buy a truck, the truck comes with extra wheels and stuff, and you can use the truck kit and the Mek gun kit, and you squish them together, and now you have 3 Mek guns. And hey, those 10 Gretchen that you have left over, guess what? Those are now your wound markers on your Mek guns. That's right. So you end up with the Mek guns. That gives you some firepower there. And then the final unit for the first 1,000 points is Squig Hog Boys. Now, the reason why I picked this is twofold. One, Squig Hog Boys and Knob on Smash a Squig both come in the box. So you get 2 units in one box. You get the actual Squig Hog Boys, which are 3 Squig Hogs with the boys on them, and the little grot on the little mini Squig. And then you get the Knob on Smash a Squig, which is a character. He's a completely different unit. So anytime you get 2 units in one box, it's always worth buying. The other thing is they're really, 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 really good right now. They have been really good basically since they come out, but they are especially good in 10th edition. They absolutely smash vehicles to pieces, and big monsters and things like that. And it gives you something in your army that's a little different, right? So this army now, you've got 3 kind of troop blocks to play with. You've got some guns to sit back and shoot stuff. You've got Squig Hog Boys going fast up one flank. You've got Def Coptas, deep striking in off the other side. You got your War Boss and your Def Dread going up the middle, punching everything they can, right? That is a sweet 1,000-point army. Now, the retail price on all of these kits, again, Combat Patrol is $160. The Gretchen retail for $25 each. The Mek gun is $60. The truck is $55, and the Squig Hog Boys are $65. So if you bought all that from G-Dubs, it'd be $390. If you use my affiliate links from Amazon and you bought all of them, you'd be looking at $336. So it would save you $54, 54 teeth. The only kit right now that you can't get is the truck. It's been coming in and out of stock. I think GW is just having a hard time making enough of them because they have come into stock a couple of times the last few months, and they just kind of immediately gone out. But you will find trucks. Don't worry. You can find a truck. They're on eBay, for example. Other places have them in stock. So you will have to buy a truck kit somewhere else. But everything else you can get on Amazon. And again, just assuming the truck's going to be the $55 retail, you're looking at $336 for 1,000 points of orcs. Now, let's upgrade. This may or may not surprise you, depending on whether or not you followed my channel for a long time or not. I've always said that a second combat patrol is a terrible investment because you can't really double up anything on it and it doesn't really help you out any. So when you go from 1,000 points to 2,000 points, you should buy a second combat patrol. Now, I know, but listen, I've figured it out now. With the change to index and stuff, there's things that you can do. The Def Copters are great, so having 2 squads of those is fine. Def Dread is great, having 2 of them is fine. And again, the whole you losing the force organization chart really helped this out, because back when you could only have 3 fast attack choices unless you did a completely different, detachment, made buying 2 of these like really stupid. Now that you could just take whatever the heck you want, it doesn't matter anymore. But anyways, now you've got a second Def Dread, you've got a second squad of Def Coptas, you've got 20 more boys. But what we're going to do now is, instead of running 10-man boy squads, we're going to run 20-man boy squads. And I'll get into that a little bit more in a second. But the big thing is, what do you do with the War Boss in Mega Armor. Now, up until now, you have not been able to double up on War Bosses. In fact, specifically, you could only have one War Boss in your army, period, in 9th. Older editions, you could have multiple, like, different War Bosses, but you couldn't have 2 of the same. So future-proofing, having 2 of these guys isn't the greatest, but you can convert him, and that's where the next box comes in. The next box is Mega Knobs. Now, Mega Knobs are super important for multiple reasons. One is the original War Boss in Mega Armor that you started your army with, he can only lead Mega Knobs, right? So if you want to put him in a unit so he doesn't get shot up, you're going to need him eventually. The second is the Mega Knobs, much like the Squig Hog Boys, comes with all of the parts for a Big Mek in Mega Armor, except for they don't give you a chassis, legs, body. Like, you only get 3 of those total, so you either make a Big Mek and 2 knobs, or you make 3 knobs. Or you take the Big Mek pieces and you squish them up here with Mr. War Boss in Mega Armor, and now you've made yourself a Big Mek in Mega Armor to go in your army, right? Also, there's a bunch of parts in there for all their different close combat weapons. And now that you can't use more than one close combat weapon in, at a time, unless it's an extra attacks one, you're going to end up probably building them with a gun and a single weapon. But also, if there's so many weapons on there, you get a couple of these extra kill saw things, which are good because mechs are great, and mechs can take a saw, right? Are you smelling what I'm cooking yet? Are you getting your little conversion bits ready? Because your next buy is a regular unit of knobs, but you're not going to use them as knobs. No. See, this here is an OG Ork War Boss. This is the new knob from the new boys, specifically the ones that come in the combat patrols. What do you see? They're the same size. They're even a really similar pose. They both have boss bowls. They both have claws. They both have some sort of slugga thing, right? All you need is a different size base. So you take 2 of these knobs from your combat patrol boys, and you run them as war bosses, regular old war bosses. So you build 2 of the regular knobs back as regular boys to make those 20-man boy squads. And now you've got 3 knobs left over, right? Because now you have 2 war bosses. Because those 20 boy squads can take a war boss attached to them and a second character. Like our weird boy from earlier. Remember him? Now you got one of those and one of these and 20 boys doing the jump, right? Pretty cunning. Next, you're going to do a knob with Wah banner. Again, super easy. You take one of these guys, you give them a stick with a boss pole on the top, you have a knob with Wah banner. You put that one on the other 20 boy squad because he allows you to do the Wah twice basically for that unit. And man, I can personally attest to this, having done it in multiple games. 20 boys with sluggas and choppas with a war boss and a knob with Wah banner getting to do the Wah on their own is clutch. I deleted a unit of mega knobs like nothing, and then the next turn the whole army could Wah, and they just kept on pushing forward. They are awesome. So now you've got 20 boys doing the jump, you got 20 boys Wah twice, you got your war boss smashing around with his unit of mega knobs, you got that Big Mek and Mega Armor hanging back with the mech guns. What are you gonna do with the other 2 knob bodies? Well, remember all those kill saws we had left over and stuff? You make 2 mechs out of the other 2 knobs. Now you've got mechs that can sit in back with the mech guns and repair their damage. Remember, because a mech can repair 1d3 on, a platform, or on a vehicle. So you can either put 1 mech with the 3 mech guns, or you can put 2 of them back there. You can run 1 mech up with the Def Dreads if you want. Whatever it takes. That's how you keep them alive. So now you've got 5 characters that you've gotten out of this box by being able to swap things around. You've got your Mega Knob squad. You've got, all the other stuff we talked about in the Combat Patrol. And now you're left with some options, okay? At this point, you've got 115 points left out of your 2,000 points. The cheapest way, would be to buy another box of knobs and literally just build 5 knobs and run 5 knobs. I don't think that that gives you the best options. I don't think that that's the best playing thing. Other things that are 115 points are a Wreck Truck Squig Buggy, which I think would be an excellent choice because now that gives you another vehicle to run around, and it has the indirect fire and the blast, right? And that definitely adds something different to your army that you wouldn't necessarily have. There's also Blitz-A-Bomber. If you like fighters, you could have a Blitz-A-Bomber coming in and zooming across the board and dropping, mortal wound bombs. But personally, I would get a unit of Beast Snagga boys. Again, I think the Beast Snaggas are just really hot. They've been hot since they came out, and they hit like a truck. And so if you add those to your repertoire, now you've got, these two 20-boy blobs running around, you got your Grots running around, and then you've got, these Beast Snagga boys running around. It gives you a lot of bodies on the board. But, again, if you're feeling a little too infantry heavy at this point and want a vehicle, I think Wreck Truck Squig Buggy would be, my personal option. They're both the same cost. They're both $50 or $60 retail. So again, retail, your combat patrol is another 160. Mega knobs run for 70. Regular knobs are 38, and then figure 60 for either a Squig Buggy or Beast Snaggas. You'd be looking at $696 total retail for the 2,000 points. But remember, we saved a bunch of teeth on the first 1,000. We can save a bunch of teeth on the second 1,000. Again, combat patrol is 127. You can get the mega knobs for 60, the knobs for 32, and either the Beast Snaggas or the Squig Buggy for 51. Meaning, if you were to buy the second half of the 1,000 points through my little links down below, they are 270 teeth, and you're looking at $606 total for all 2,000 points. And again, that's buying the truck at full retail. If you could find the truck for a little bit off, you're under $600 for 2,000 points on an index. Remember, there's no way for us to cut points or make things more efficient. You got to pay for the whole hog on everything. 600 teeth for 2,000 points is a heck of a deal. And again, you're looking at characters out the wazoo, troops out the wazoo. You got things that are moving fast. You got things that are hitting hard. You got things that are shooting with some more DACA. And it gives you options for when the Codex comes out. Because now you've got a bunch of different units. You got a bunch of things that you can go with it. You can run those boy squads as 10 boys instead of 20 if you want when that time comes. You can, make the Met guns all one unit if they come back with force organization, and you can only have so many heavy supports, so you can run them as 3 completely separate Met guns. There are options, and that's what's so cool about this. So this particular setup, again, you're looking at, there's 1,000 points to start with and then a second 1,000 points to buy. It does have some converting. The first 1,000 points is super easy. Again, you don't even have to convert him. He's literally an orc with a stick. He is exactly the same. And then your Met guns. But again, it's so easy. It's so easy. You take a couple of wheels, you glue some plates to it, you glue the gun on top, bam, Met gun, right? Any Met could do that. I don't care how weedy of a grot you are. You could figure that out. And then your second 1,000 points, it really isn't that hard. You're taking the knob bodies and you're turning them into mechs and war bosses. And again, all you gotta do is glue them on a bigger base. How hard is that? You could do it. I can do it. Anybody can do it. Bob can do it. Bob can do it. So that's our update for the video, for the army. That's how you make 2,000 points of orcs for about 600 teeth. And hopefully you found some value in this. Now, I know that a lot of you have already started an orc army and maybe have more than a combat patrol already and might not have bought the units I'm recommending. So if you are in that situation and you want to know what you should buy next, throw a comment down below. Tell me what you've already got and what your budget is looking forward, or what kind of points you want to get to. And I will personally recommend to you in the comments what you should get next. So old Big Mek is here looking out for you. We're going to wah hard. The orcs are coming for everybody. I hope they're ready. Let's do this. Wah!